Hey everyone, I am on my way back from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm right now parked in the parking lot of this place called the Chesapeake House, and I'm something of an emotional wreck right now. Um, I apologize to the viewers who don't necessarily understand some of the terminology that pertains to those who practice the Jewish religion, but I'm going to use some terminology over here that those who are familiar with it would understand. So I do apologize for that. Um, I turned today into a Yom Tefillah, a day of prayer. I am being admitted again to the hospital tomorrow. They're going to install the port. We're going to start the process. We're going to be starting chemo. And today is the yard site of a Rebbe of mine in Baltimore. He's no longer alive, obviously. Today is Tu B'Shvat, and it's also the yard site of Rabbi Yosef Tendler ZT. He was the Menahel in Ner Yisrael for some 50 years, supposedly, and he had smicha from Rav Moshe Feinstein, and he learned under Rav Aaron Kotler, and he was the real deal. He was very big. And although I wasn't necessarily in his specific shiur, he did give a lot of mussar to the Talmidim in the high school, including myself. I was in the high school at that time. I graduated in '94 from the high school, and I went through the process of actually converting a lot of his tapes into MP3s, and he accepted me into the yeshiva when I was first becoming from, and I was not worthy. Ner Yisrael is considered like an Ivy League yeshiva, and I'm not worthy. I wasn't worthy. I was coming out of public school. It's kind of like being accepted into Harvard when you just don't qualify. You're not worthy. They accept you for whatever reason. So you have to do whatever you can to compensate and to try to somehow make up those skills. And Rabbi Yosef Tendler took me under his wing, and he worked with me, and he put me in specialized classes in order that I can come up to speed. So I just went to his kever, and there was a number of family members there, including some Talmidim, and I actually told them what I'm going through, that I'm about to start a bone marrow transplant, and that the dominating thoughts in my mind are all these things, all these themes that he's repeated to his Talmidim for the duration of his career. He would constantly repeat the theme that life is precious, don't waste your time. And now that I'm being granted this second chance, that I'm getting a bone marrow transplant, I feel like an element of confusion. Maybe I've been doing things right and I've been granted an extension, or it could be maybe not necessarily, and I've been given a second chance. And if I've been given a second chance, what am I supposed to be doing? So I'm a little bit at a loss. So I gave my name over at to the family members there. I told them what I'm going through, and then I proceeded to daven. I wrote a tehillim with myself. I asked for members of the community names of people who to daven for, people need shidduchim, parnasa, and refuahs of their own. And the more I davened, the more I started to realize like everything started to hit me, and I just broke down and I just started crying. I became like an emotional wreck, because not only, I mean, of course I have my own concerns. I'm worried about my own refuah. I'm scared of the impact of what chemo is going to be doing to me. I'm scared of, for my family. Is my wife going to be able to manage as a one head of operation? We have 4 kids. I'm worried about their well-being and that everything should go well for them. I'm worried about parnasa. I'm no longer employed at where I was working, and income's not coming in. And it's not clear when I do go through this process, what's going to be the next step? What am I going to be going through next? Like, what's the next step for Parnasa? Like, what's going to be my new career? I can't go back to this job, or I could probably stay in the same field, but I'm not sure if I'm interested. And then going through this list of everyone who I'm saying tehillim for, These are ordinary people who I know, and they submitted their names for. Some people submitted their names for shidduchim, that they should be engaged and married. People submitted their names for parnasa, that they should have a good livelihood. People submitted their names for refuah, that they should also be healed. And then people submitted their names for just what I think might even be trivial or something that they could take care of for themselves. They submitted their names for like their own menuchas nefesh, for their own well-being, that things should just be good for them. One mother sent in that her son should find a good chavrusa in yeshiva, that she submitted this name for me to daven at the kever of my Rebbe. And I just broke down. So again, I was crying. I'm crying for myself, crying for all these people. It seems like not everything is okay. Not everything's okay. Even though on the surface, you walk around, you go to shul, there's just a lot of like things happening behind the scenes that we don't know, and things are not okay. Everyone has like their worries. Everyone has like anxiety and concern for like their own well-being, etc., etc. And I hope that today's Yom Tefillah, that today's day of prayer before I go into the hospital, that for me this is an ace Sarah. I'm in a place where I'm actually scared, and I daven that my tefillah should be answered because I'm crying. Shari Demos are not closed, and that in my tzara, that my tefillah should be answered. And I hope that this Rabbi Yosef Tendler, who again I'm probably going to hopefully upload a number of his audio shiurim that I converted from tape to MP3, hopefully upload it to my YouTube channel over here. I hope that his neshama has an aliyah, and that he be a melit yosher for his family, and it's a big family for his family and his talmidim. Even though now it's 11 years, I think it's an 11-year yahrzeit. Hopefully everything will go well. I'm going to continue crying. I still have another 2.5 hours till I get home, but I'll update you guys with anything that I can think of.